Alright everyone, so this glare is in my eyes. Boom, 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 boom. Hello everyone, my name is Marty and today's video, as the title describes, is going to be about college. Specifically about the mistakes that I made and the mistakes that I don't want you to make. So it's 3 weeks until the end for me. It's been a good 5 years, well, a bumpy 5 years, but overall I'm so glad. And when I walk down that stage, which is right behind me, right outside my house window, I'm going to be so proud of myself. Oh my gosh. But anyways, let's not talk about graduation just yet. I'm going to be talking right now about the mistakes. So if you want to learn more, get my knowledge, then definitely stay tuned. Alright, so the first mistake that I want to share with y'all is first years only trying to take classes within their major. First year, sophomore year is the time to explore. I'm a big proponent of liberal arts schools, and liberal arts schools do a really great job of really encouraging their students to be interdisciplinary. So I go to Smith College and we don't have a distribution requirement, so I can take classes in whatever, but if you're interested in getting Latin honors, you take classes in different fields and you get an A, and you get Latin honors when you graduate. But that was just too much for me, and also I transferred in, so I was a little behind. But what I'm trying to say is, don't be like this person I just met who she only took classes STEM related, some PE classes. She took classes in what she already knew, and now she's graduating. She took an art history class for the Latin honors for the first time, and she fell in love, and one of her regrets is not taking those classes earlier on, and she could have maybe minored in it and learned more. So I really encourage you to not pigeonhole yourself, to really embrace the fact that there are so many different classes here, knowledge here, professors here who know the trade, and really branch out. Alright, so the ninth mistake that I want to share with you, and something that I'm still dealing with, is not being financially conscious, not creating a little budget, and it doesn't have to be a whole 9 yards, where exactly is my money going, but at least having a better grasp of how much money you have in your account, how much books are going to cost, school supplies, things like getting some snacks and paying for laundry. And also having some party money, some things left so that you can grab a drink whenever you want to. You can go to the clubs. I don't know what school you're going to, but I'm hoping you can find places where you can dance. Dancing is very important to me. So being really smart with your money, because this is the experiment for the real world. This is a really great opportunity to really find yourself, to develop skills, and having financial skills is very important in our capitalist world. Alright, so another mistake that I think a lot of people make is thinking that you're only going to be learning from your professors. And for me, that's not the case at all. And I think for majority of the people here, in fact, I learned probably the most from other students, not just about the resources here on campus, but on just like societal problems and being able to talk to a peer, not feeling like there's any power dynamic, because I know it took me a really long time to really talk to a professor. You can learn about any tricks they have, what professors they recommend, what type of internships they did, what type of fellowships, who they can talk to. Really make connections, y'all. Make connections. And that goes into another mistake, is I wish I was more close with my professors, because they're the ones going to be writing my recommendations. They're the ones that's going to be connecting me and networking me to other people. I had a professor in psychology, one of my psych professors, it was 2 years ago when I first transferred to Smith, and he was from South Africa, and I studied abroad in South Africa. So starting this semester when I came back, I went to him and I was like, hey, I spent just like 4 months in Cape Town. I love it there. And then we talked a bit about my experience, and he was like, if you're interested, I can get you in touch with a researcher in the University of Cape Town in Psych. And that's pretty amazing. I'm going to New York City though after I graduate, but it's great to know that I have that option, that if I do want to return to South Africa, which I really want to, that I can find a job there and opportunities. So definitely really go to your professor's office hours, talk to them, make these connections, and also, going back to my last mistake, or last advice for y'all, definitely realize that knowledge comes in all shapes and sizes, and sometimes the best knowledge you get is from the people you did not expect it to come from at all. So again, be open to the possibilities. This is college. So the sixth mistake, I would say, is thinking that you have to finish college in 4 years, 8 semesters, and that's kind of the traditional way. And it took me a really long time to realize. I was in sophomore year, 2014, 15, and I was having a really hard time at my old school. It was probably one of the deepest or lowest parts in my life, and even when I think about it, it's like really black and white and really depressing. And it was at that time I realized that I needed to get out of this school. It was not giving me as much as I wanted, and I really outgrew the place. So for me, I was really fortunate that I came to the realization that I needed to go, and also other people made that realization before me. I was very involved with my school, a cheerleader, and so people were really surprised that I was leaving. But it was what was best for me, for my mental health, and for the life that I want to live. So y'all, don't worry, you don't have to finish college in 4 years. College and people's journeys to getting a degree look completely different. So I took a leave of absence and I went to my mom's place in El Paso, and honestly it was just 4 months of me writing my essays, perfecting, well, not perfecting, but trying to get my mental health on deck, and basically taking space and deprocessing, or what is that word? Basically rejuvenating myself to go back into academia, because this is hard, y'all. College is not going to be breezy, and it shouldn't be, because you're being challenged, or you should challenge yourself. So make sure to take breaks, and taking a leave of absence was the best choice that I could make. And when I did return to college, I came back with so much more energy, more purpose. I was able to find out what I wanted to do. Before, I was a computer science major and I love programming, but I realized I wanted to work more with people directly than computers. So with that being said, don't be afraid to take a leave of absence. Alright, so this kind of rolls into another mistake, and it is not going to seek counseling service or developing a support system when you feel stressed. And you're going to feel stress in college, and you're going to be around people who only care about grades, who maybe even only care about partying, and then you're somewhere in the middle maybe. And so going to counseling service, and I've never met a person who said that their counseling services on campus was great, and that's been across colleges, but it was the first time that I could find someone I can go to weekly. And even though it was kind of hit and miss these past few years, it was helpful to talk to someone at least, and to also be linked in with resources and people that I can go to when I did feel stressed. So I really encourage you to look into your college's mental health services, the different groups they have. They have an ADHD group that I was briefly a part of, and they also have a grief support groups and all these different groups. So finding a support system to help you along on your journey. I think another mistake that college folks, first years, can make, or just anyone in college, is not taking time to reflect on yourself and to really know yourself. So I really believe that once you know yourself, things can just fall into place, and it's easier for you to figure out, you know, what you want to do, who you want to be, what are your values, what are you going to do to get to the point that you want to go in life, and what direction you're going to be. And when you're in an environment where there's so many different ideas and histories and people, it's really good for you to take, you know, a body inventory, to look into yourself and to reflect on what's going to make you happy in the long run. Another mistake that I see people do, and I also made this mistake when I first went to college, is sticking by people you already know, or who look like you or who act like you. I went to college with, at my old school, I went to college with my old best friend. And this was after a really, the summer before college, I did this really, it's gonna be another story time, but basically we went on a road trip and her parents thought I kidnapped her, and like the whole like FBI was involved. Okay, I'm gonna tell that story another time, but anyways, so I went with her in college and she ended up being in my dorm, in my, res hall. So honestly, I wish that my best friend wasn't there, and eventually she did leave in the middle of the semester, and she left without telling me. But anyways, that's also another story time. But essentially, you're in college, you're around people from all over the world possibly, and I think it's really limiting yourself if you're going to be with people you already know, maybe from high school, and if you're not branching out and talking to new people. Because again, going back to another advice I give, that at least for me, I learned the most from fellow students. So imagine how much more you can learn if you're with people who you don't normally talk to. Another mistake that I see college folks making is not taking risk. And I think this goes into all walks of life that I want to give advice to. But anyways, not taking risks, especially in college, this is already a privilege. It's something as a first generation college student that I don't take for granted at all. And going to Smith, seeing these two different colleges, my old school Mills is very underfunded, didn't have a lot of resources. So when I went to Smith, I was shook by how much money they had, the endowments in the billions. So it really shows. And one of the biggest risks I took was studying abroad, and I had an amazing time. I have a blog and a vlogging channel called Little Fro on the Go, you know, self-promo. But anyways, studying abroad was the best decision I've made, and probably like a highlight in my life. So I spent majority or a good portion of my last year, 2017, abroad. I backpacked Europe. I was in Amsterdam, I went to Japan, and then South Africa. And that just opened up a whole new world of possibilities and imagination for me. So, but I was nervous, and I almost didn't go to study abroad in South Africa because I had fear about missing out. It was my senior year, and it was last semester, and I was worried that I was going to not be connected with people anymore, I was going to miss out on traditions, and I was just being scared, fearful. And so I'm really happy that I had friends who said, yo, you have this opportunity. Smith has the financial aid, like, you're basically paying as much as what you would be paying if you stayed on campus, but you'll be in another country, another continent. So if you have the abilities to go maybe abroad, to go and take risks, to join clubs that you might not have thought of, to take leadership roles, to take classes that you're worrying about. You know, take risk. Go outside your comfort zone. Learn and grow. Whoa, my hair. Not events. So the last mistake that I want to share with you that I see happen all the time is people just not having fun and not finding a balance. So I came from California. My old school was a lot more chill. I swear, California chill is real. So when I came to New England, to my Massachusetts Smith College, I'm telling you, as soon as I stepped foot on campus, I felt the energy, anxiety, anxiousness, and just this total worrying grades. And I know grades are obviously super important, especially for people who are interested in grad school and going to medical school, law school, all that wonderful jazz. But please, I encourage y'all to find a balance, to definitely make space in your life for you to be social, for you to be academic, for you to also be by yourself sometimes, and to do things that you enjoy. So finding balance for your emotional needs, your mental needs, your physical needs, you know, maybe slicing some time out of your life to go to the gym, something I need to do. But yeah, so definitely have fun, and I hope you do well in your college career. Please let me know. Write a comment down below if you found any of these tips helpful. Whew, I don't know why I'm so out of breath, but I'm just so looking forward to the end of college. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be updating and making some more videos, because also the great thing about my college is that there's so many resources. So I'm using a camera from my school's digital lab, and I'll be editing it right now on my school's computer lab. So perfect, because you know, Adobe and Final Cut Pro is really expensive. So again, take advantage of the resources, and I wish you the best of luck. Mwah! Bye!